What's up, you guys? Welcome back to this week's Manga Sutra Manga review. I know it's been a while since we did one of these, and I'm happy to be back doing them. Now, in this week's video, we're going to be talking about a psychological horror romance called Mushihime. Now, Mushihime starts off with a large body of water in which there are dozens, if not hundreds, of floating corpses, and a young man in a boat paddling is looking at the carnage around him. However, suddenly, a unconscious woman begins to drift near the boat, and when she awakens, she smiles at the young man, and he notices that her smile is filled with a bunch of needle-like sharp teeth. And then she lunges for him and her jaw unhinges, and we see rows upon rows of sharp teeth. And the young man awakens in the middle of class with a startle, and his teacher is none too happy about him waking up. However, the young man is walking back home from school with his friends, and we find out that the young man's name is Ryoichi. He is our main character, right? Now, Ryoichi can't seem to shake the feeling that there is something deeper to these dreams. He can't seem to shake the woman that appears in his dreams. He feels that there is a connection to these dreams or these nightmares, right? However, when they reach his friend's house, something odd happens. The pet is being attacked by millions and millions and millions of ants. It's a very horrifying and frightening sight. Poor little doggo, right? But Ryoichi comes to the rescue. He hoses the dog down, washes away the ants. They take the dog to the hospital to get it treated. However, to their shock, everybody in the neighborhood has had their pets attacked by ants. And there's a long wait. However, we get a cut to another scene in which we see a young woman is being transferred to a school. And she's looking at nature and she's saying that the world has only been borrowed by humans and that it will be reclaimed eventually. Now, the teacher that is dealing with her is none too happy about her gibberish, so he grabs her by the hand violently and begins to kind of try to rush her to her class, right? However, he gets pricked in the hand and he feels like he's been stung by something, right? And he notices something odd about the girl's reaction. Like, she was surprised by it too. Like, she was almost sorry about it, you know? However, towards the end of the chapter, what we get is a coroner or a morgue, right? And they're examining this dead trucker who died on the middle of the highway. He died to dozens of insect bites. And they were weird and peculiar, just like details about his body and his death. And there is an investigator that is looking at the corpse, and he says, "Kikuko, I found you." Right? So, the next chapter, we see that the young woman is being introduced to the class, and her name is Kikuko Munakata. And Ryoichi is looking at her with shock and horror as he realizes that the girl from his nightmares, the woman from his nightmares, is standing right in front of him. This new student is Kikuko Munakata, this monstrously beautiful woman that is deadly in this dude's nightmares is right there. And then we get Kikuko's perspective, and she's able to sense the pheromones of all the people in the room, and she can sense that every man in the room is lusting after her, but she senses fear from one person, and that's Ryoichi. And she locks eyes with Ryoichi, and Ryoichi notices this, and then she looks away. It's almost as if she's scared of him, and he's scared of her. There seems to be this instant connection that clicks off between the two of them, right? And Ryoichi, for the most part, his friends are just like, she's beautiful, she's stunning. Who wouldn't want to get to know her? Ryoichi is automatically shutting that down. Like, I don't want to get anywhere near her. I don't want to know anything about her. They don't know anything about his nightmares. They don't know what he's seen. They don't know what he's dreamt of. So they just can't seem to understand why Ryoichi does not seem interested in this Kikuko girl, right? However, we see that neighborhood dogs. However, we see at the end of the chapter, Kikuko is after school. She's over there observing Ryoichi and his friends walking away from a distance, and an older man approaches her, asking her if she wants to go out for karaoke, right? So, you know, creepy old man asks his young schoolgirl out. We're thinking that she's gonna say no, but she says yes. And the weird thing is she starts crying. And throughout the whole crying scene, a couple of pages before that, we have the teacher that got stung in his hand. We see that his hand is swollen up. Like, that it's this big swollen insect bite. Doctors are telling him it's just an insect bite, don't worry about it. But he feels that it's something different. He feels that it's the girl's fault. And he just can't seem to shake it in his mind that she was the one that bit him. That she had some type of blade or something, right? And, you know, he's explaining this to his wife, and she's just like, honey, you know, you're just overreacting. You think she really just stabbed you with a blade out of nowhere? And he was like, I don't know. I just can't seem to shake the feeling that she was sad. She was sorry. She was crying. Then we get that last panel in chapter 2 of the girl crying, looking at the old man who's looking shocked and happy that she accepted his offer to go out, right? Now, getting into the meat of this review, right? This has Junji Ito vibes all over it at the start, especially when we get like the panel where she opens up her mouth and it's just a row after row after row of sharp teeth. That definitely gave me Junji Ito vibes. And later on in the manga, there are definitely some panels of Kikuko that are just monstrous, right? Just absolutely monstrous. And I have to say, I really do love the artwork because, like I said, it gives you Junji Ito vibes, but at the same time, it stands on its own merits and it is unique in and of itself. As far as plot, I'd say my critiques of it is that we don't really see much character development in Ryoichi. And sadly for Ryoichi, he is a victim in all of this. Ryoichi really starts off as this guy that's troubled with these dreams and these visions and these nightmares, right? And then as the manga progresses, we see this deterioration in his character. And as Ryoichi deteriorates, we see Kikuko transform. We see her get more and more fleshed out. We learn more and more about her past. We learn more and more about why she is the way she is. We learn more and more about her motives, right? We know more and more about her as a person. We know more and more about her personality. Whereas Ryoichi seems to have this diminishing quality throughout the manga. You know, he begins to become more of a back character. He begins to become more of a puppet. And I have to say that really in this manga, no one else is really all that relevant outside of a couple of characters. Like Ryoichi, Kikuko, like 2 other characters. That's about it. And I'm about 20 chapters in. No one else really matters, all right? No one else really matters. I have to say that as far as Ryoichi is concerned, it is a very, very, very tragic turn of events for Ryoichi because his life seems to be going okay outside of these weird dreams that he's having. And then all of a sudden his life just takes this turn. And all because this woman from his vision suddenly appears at his school. And the odd thing is, the more Ryoichi seems to try to avoid her, the stronger the connection between them becomes. And there is a lot of foreshadowing at the start of the manga that I will say happens towards the later chapters that we see. A lot of imagery that we've seen at the start of the manga actually has a lot of relevance later on, right? And there are hidden connections between these 2 characters that you wouldn't have originally thought of at the start. And I just have to say, Kikuko is just crazy, man. Like, just crazy. Like, crazy girlfriend times 10. All right? Crazy girlfriend times 10. But as the manga goes on, you understand why she does what she does. You understand that the things that happen were outside of some characters' control, right? And honestly, I don't know who I root for in this manga. I don't really root for anybody. I mean, I like Kikuko, clearly, you know. She's crazy. She's weird. There's something up with her. You read the manga and you find out. But you just see this transformation in Kikuko where, like, she's at least at first glance in the manga, this calm, cool, composed person, and then towards the end of the manga it unravels. Whereas Ryoichi is this calm, cool, collected person that has a life, you know. But then as the manga progresses, that deteriorates and he just becomes like this shell of the character that he was at the start of the manga. He becomes this puppet to Kikuko pretty much. And I guess there are a couple of characters I do root for. There's one character I root for. Anybody that's read this manga, you kind of know who they is or who they are. My grammar's all the way off sometimes. But artwork, if you like Junji Ito and you like some of these detailed panels, this manga has it, all right? This manga has the horror aspect down packed. There are some panels when it comes to Kikuko, when it comes to some of these other characters, when it comes to some of these scenes that it just nails, right? It just nails it. It gives you this intense sense of dread. These weird and somewhat creepy positions and somewhat creepy panels. This manga nails it. Plot wise, like I said, it really just revolves around two characters, and you might have two supporting characters at that point, but everyone else is mostly irrelevant. And yeah, things are rapidly spiraling, right? So at first you're just kind of thinking, but I'm telling you, it kicks up after 2 chapters and things really start to progress exponentially, and then it starts to spiral. Now, I think, you know, if you like some sick, twisted love or romance, this is it. If you love, you know, tragic things happening to main characters, loss of loved ones, so on and so forth, this is it. If you love seeing, like, you know, insects and swarms and stuff like that, this is it. But this is Vero Malo. I recommend this manga. I like this manga. You guys check it out. Also, we are monetized again, so subscribe to the channel for more manga reviews. And if you want to go the extra step and show more support for the channel, become a member. It only costs 99 cents a month. It helps me out greatly. I would appreciate it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye.